You're listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode number 152. Welcome to the Estheticians Earning More podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to love your esthetician business without the hustle, exhaustion, or overwhelm as it booms into a successful business. I teach simple ways how to approach your business that gives you your life back while still growing a profitable business. I grew BLH Beauty in San Diego to a six-figure business, and I learned a lot along the way, which I'm excited to share with you here. So let's get started. Do you want to make $100,000 revenue in your esthetician business? If so, I would love to show you how. I want to invite you to coach with me in my one-to-one coaching program. It's completely customizable. The way that it works is we sit down and figure out what you've been doing in your business that hasn't been working, and then make a very specific plan that I help you follow over the course of 6 months to get it done. We meet weekly for 30 minutes and discuss exactly what went well that week and we're going to do next week, whether it's your pricing needs to be raised, or you need to have boundaries with your clients, or if you need to learn how to sell skincare, or you need to niche down and you're doing way too many services and not making money, or all of the above. Whatever the issue is, whatever the reason is you're not making money, we'll figure it out together and we will grow your business into a really profitable business that's sustainable, that you love, and that really helps people. I cannot wait to be your coach and to work with you. To learn more, go to the link in the show notes. And with that, on with today's episode. Hello, happy Monday. How are you? I hope you're doing great. I either am currently recovering from going to Sweden to see Taylor Swift, or I'm on a plane ride home right now. Hopefully I'm recovering at home, but who knows? I'm going to be flying standby for the part of my trip. So I'm obviously recording this in advance so that you can have a podcast today while I've been off gallivanting around Sweden. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about something that I really focus on with each of my esthetician clients, and something that you can think about when it comes to building your business, and some things that even you may want to focus on before you hire a coach, myself or someone else, to kind of help you get things moving in a direction to set you up for success. So I'd like to talk about it like a really strong business foundation. And I have a lot of thoughts on this. So hopefully this is going to be as organized as possible. I have notes, but I sometimes could just go all over the place. And I think about sometimes we as business owners overcomplicate our business. We add a lot of different elements to it to make money. And by doing all of those things, we're not actually making money. I'll give you some examples. So a way that this can look is by having a ton of different services that you provide. So you're waxing or sugaring. You are doing facials, you're doing acne, you're doing skin pen, or microneedling, microblading eyebrows, you're doing lash lifts, you're doing lash tints, you're doing lashes. Like, you are literally doing everything. You're the one-stop shop for anyone who needs esthetician services. And you've heard me say this before, listen to the podcast. You know how I feel about this, but we've been taught, especially in esthetician school, and if you talk to people just in the world, they're like, you should offer everything so they can come to you for brows and a facial and whatever, right? And so then you're leaving money on the table, so they have to go to multiple places. And that is true. But what you may not be realizing, and people who give you that advice may not also be realizing, is it's very expensive to have a lot of things that you're maintaining, back bar and products and things like that. And it's harder to sell yourself and market yourself as a solo esthetician business. If you own a spa with multiple people
working for you, do it, my friend. Like, offer all of it. Like, I am not here to say don't do that. It's a totally different business plan from a solo entrepreneur, solo esthetician, which most people listening to this podcast are. And so what ends up happening is we've now completely overcomplicated your business in that you don't really know where to focus. You don't really know how to market. You have a few brow clients. You have a few facial clients. You have a few lash lift clients. You have a few this, few that. They don't actually all overlap. Maybe one or two of them do more than one service of different, one does lash lift and one does a facial. Obviously, that does happen, but from talking to a lot of estheticians, I've seen that is not the case. That is not the case. And so you actually end up having to get more people who all want different things. And nothing is more confusing when you're marketing than not having a clear offer that you're selling. I think that's what a lot of people kind of get tripped up on in marketing, is because they don't know how to say what it is that they do. And if you do a lot of things, it's really hard to say that. Be like, this is what I do. Because you do that and this and that and this and this. And so then you want to make sure, like I recently did a podcast with Olivia Murray, I think it was episode 150. And like she did that. She was like doing this and this and this and this and this and this because she didn't want to say no to money. But when she stepped into just doing the services she really loved and was passionate about, she made literally more than double what she'd been making after a few months of working towards that, obviously, right? It wasn't overnight. So we really, the two like foundations to having a strong business foundation is to have very clear offer that you do for your clients, like a niche. It doesn't have to be like just acne or just age management or lashes or like whatever, but it has to be specific enough that people are like, that's me, right? Like I fall into that category. So that is the first thing, because when you can do that, you can market and find your ideal people who come regularly and do the things they're supposed to do. But if you're just trying to grab anybody who's interested in these services, a lot of the times they're not the ideal clients. Of course, sometimes they are, or sometimes people just get really lucky and it's like not a thing for them. But what I found from working with estheticians is that yes, they may have a lot of clients, but they're not great clients. They show up late, they cancel last minute, they, don't tip, they only want a discount. If you're only running discounts, the only reason they're going to come in. And so you're just treading water so hard to keep afloat in your business. And it is exhausting. And I'm not to say you're not going to still have those clients, even if you do everything that I teach you. Of course you are. Those people just are in the world, but you'll have less of them. It'll be an easier experience working with someone who is there for what you want and wants to pay and all the things. So the first thing is having that strong offer niche that you can tell anyone about. This is what we do. This is how we do it, all the things to attract the second part, the ideal client, and then sell them products that they love and will continue to buy. These three elements, if you don't have one, if not all three of these elements, it's usually why your business isn't doing well. It's why you aren't making money. It is why you are not growing your business, because you're either having a bunch of people coming in doing a bunch of different services, so you don't have a really strong niche, or maybe that too is you have clients, but they're not your ideal client. They're not people who ever want to buy product or come regularly. They're just random people that you see whenever they come, right? And when they come, they're always talking about how they don't have any money and they can't afford you and all the things, right? Not a great client to have. And then they're not buying product. Oh no, they're gonna, unless it's on sale, they can get on Amazon or Sephora or wherever they think that is a better place. That's where they're gonna buy products from. They're not gonna they don't want to shop it from an esthetician. They want to go and buy it from a pretty store. So you can see how it's not working. I recently, so I like to read if you follow me. I recently read Crystal Hefner's memoir. So Hugh Hefner's last wife. I am not at all a Hugh Hefner Playboy fan at all. I've always found it like just well, not for me. Like I'm not interested. I don't care. But I was interested in this memoir because she talked about like she's like spilling all the secrets, which I was like, okay, tell me. And it was actually a really interesting memoir. And it was definitely gross in so many ways, but that wasn't the majority of the book, thank God, because if it had been really gross things again and again, I couldn't have read that. But one of the things that she talks about is after a few years of living in the Playboy Mansion and all these things, she got really, really sick and was seeing doctor after doctor after doctor, and she had a couple of things wrong with her. But one of the things that was wrong was that the house, like the vents, the like vents and filtration in the house was like covered in like black mold, which you probably know is extremely toxic, especially to breathe. So they had to have someone come in and clean out all of this mold. But from the world's perspective, I mean, you maybe are like me that this is not something you ever really paid attention to. Like I didn't really even know. I don't even know what the Playboy Mansion looked like. I've never seen any of the shows, or like I don't really have a visual of what it looked like. She described it in the book, but it was like this perfect place, like an adult playground is how she described it. Like it was just like perfect. But there was mold in the vents that was like literally poisoning people. Like there were so many things that weren't being taken care of in the mansion so that it would look really good. But they're missing that foundation of like what they really need to do to keep people, the staff, and everyone who lived and worked in the mansion healthy. And I thought about that in like from a business perspective. Like a lot of times we are focusing on what the business looks like and what our family and our friends and former coworkers and acquaintances and random people on the internet think about our business. We want it to look a certain way. That is like the main priority. And we think if it looks a certain way, then we will get the money and the people will come. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like saying that aesthetics and branding and design aren't super important and can't really make or break someone's experience, for sure. But you can have the cutest Instagram, the cutest room, absolutely adorable. Someone comes in for their service, you never see them again. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like that does not guarantee a successful business. For me, that's like the cherry on top. That's like what makes it even more fun and exciting. But if you haven't set up your business in a way that a client can come and be like, this is what I'm going to get from them, this is how often I should come, this is my part in it, this is what the products I'm going to buy, this is that, then you're going to continue to get those type of clients. You're going to continue to get the clients that just are looking for an eyebrow wax or just looking for a lash lift or just a facial once a year. And again, there's nothing wrong with those clients. Of course, they're out there and they are looking for services and they are going to fill your books for sure. But when you're looking for that consistent income, those are not the people you want to be attracting and focusing on. Right? Because we don't know when they're coming back. They don't know either, right? They don't really have, it's like not that big of a thing for them. Like I do get my eyebrows waxed, but it's like whenever, like every few months. I don't really have a lot of eyebrow hair. I will pluck most of it myself. It's not that big of a priority for me. I actually like didn't get my eyebrows waxed for a really long time and was like really happy I had my bangs to cover my eyebrows. And then one of my clients does brows as her specialty, and I would always be like, don't look at my brows. But you don't want a client like me as a brow client. I'm not a great brow client. You want someone who is like, they want their brows to look amazing all of the time. They want to be, full, beautiful, brows. They're willing to spend the money on all the products. They love it. It makes them so excited. They love getting their brows done. That is the person that you want. When you have a business, when there isn't a clear focus and you're not clear on what kind of clients you want, and you're not clear on the products that your clients need to get the results they want, it's really hard to make money. It's really hard to make money because you're probably not selling that much product. You're probably just, like Olivia was saying, just helped anyone who is willing to need a service. And I think that all business owners, or most business owners, go through that phase when they first open their business. And so if you're in that phase, don't be discouraged by this. Don't make it mean you're doing anything wrong. This is just what it is when you first start out. But if you want to grow, if you want to go beyond just whoever can come in for a service, you have to get clear on those 3 things. And the better you get at articulating what it is, who you do it for, and what they need to do, like products and home care, to get success, the more money you're going to make. For sure. It's a very simple focus. We're not focusing on what esthetician influencers are doing or talking about in their stories. We're not looking at trends of what other estheticians are doing. We're really thinking about what you see your clients needing to get better results, and then articulating that really well to them. I think that a lot of people, and you maybe by listening to this podcast, you're like, yes, I know what my specialty is. I know what kind of client I want, and I have the products that I love and I want to sell them, but it's not working. Great. Okay. So you figured that part out. You figured out the basis of the foundation, but now you have to build on that. Again, like we're building a house, the foundation, if it's a really solid foundation, that's great. But if you don't build on a house, it's just like a slab of, I don't even know what it is. What is the foundation? Is it just concrete? I don't know. I actually have no idea what the foundation is in a house. This is why I usually don't do house metaphors. But if we're not going to build on that and be crystal clear on how we're going to do that, once we get those things identified, you're just going to be in panic mode all the time, trying to worry about making money, versus having a very clear plan on how to execute that. How to market your business to that ideal clientele. How to identify someone as an ideal client. How to talk to people about your business, and how to get people to use products that they love and keep using them. But if you don't have those 3 things, if you try to like, I'm going to niche down, but like not really have products that reflect that, that's not going to work. Or like, everyone loves this line, so I'm going to buy this product line, but I really don't have anyone who's interested in it, who's like a good fit for this. And I have no idea how to talk about this line to people. You just spent thousands of dollars in products just sitting on your shelf that you're not going to sell. It happens all the time. Or maybe you have products and you have the niche. So those are the 2 things. Like, you're doing acne. You're doing DMK. You're doing GlideMed. I don't know, all the things. You're doing sugaring, right? So those are the 2 things you have. But the people that come in are just random people that are not reliable clients. So then how do you get the ideal client? Well, if we go back to the foundation, if you are clear on these 3 things, what that client looks like, not physically, but like what they need, why they're looking for that service, essentially, like what they're looking for, what they need help with, what the business is, what they do to get results, what you do to get results. If you know that frontwards and backwards, it's basically a business plan. It's like, how I work with my clients to kind of map out what they're doing. If you know that frontwards and backwards, when you go out into the world, when you talk to your current clients, when you talk to friends and acquaintances, talking about your business is just going to be second nature for you. When you're on Instagram, it's going to be second nature, or whatever platforms you use social media wise. And then when you start doing that consistently, people will pay attention and you will get referrals. You get people coming in the door. But if you don't have that clear vision, that clear foundation, and you go out in the world, or you're on Instagram or in a Facebook group, or who knows how you, whenever you interact with the world, and you're like, being an esthetician is great because you love it and you never work a day of your life. What? You know, like those random esthetician posts that people do? What? Who? What are you talking about? That doesn't make, that's great for an esthetician community, if you're an esthetician community Facebook group, but what? What does that have to do with someone who wants their lashes? Right? Or like you're out in the world and you're like, oh, I'm an esthetician. And like someone's like, great, what do you do? And like, I do. And you like get this like long list and they're like, oh, okay. And like, okay, how do I book? Okay, do you have a website? And it's like, you don't really know to say at that point. Do you book them? Do you tell them about your website? What do you do? How do you know if this person is even a person that would be a client? Because what if they don't even know they want something, but they don't even know what it's like? How like, how does it work? Right? Versus like having that, for lack of a better word, like elevator pitch, because you just know your business so well. You know who you serve, you know who you help. And if you talk to 30 people a week, whether it be online or in person, and 29 of those people are just like, oh, that's cool, that's good information. If you can't easily and effectively explain to people what it is you do and how you do it, how do you expect people to book with you and buy products and like do all the things? I understand completely that some people for sure know what an eyebrow wax is, right? But if you do eyebrow waxes, like one of my clients, who it's like a whole experience. It's not just like they come in and get their eyebrows waxed. Like that needs to be a part of how you talk about it. Like, look, this is what I do. It's like this really relaxing brow wax. It's unlike anything you've seen before, which is true because I've never seen anyone else offer it, and it's really cool. Right? So like you have to be able to say what it is people are looking for to them so that they are interested and engaged. And you may also have the best elevator pitch in the world where you can talk about it perfectly and people still are not interested, but those are just people who are never going to come book with you. But it doesn't mean you still don't talk about it, because they may have someone to refer you. I was talking to a 60-year-old man about how I do acne. Obviously, he doesn't have acne, but he may have family members or loved ones who do, right? And like even now, like I'm an esthetician business coach, as you know, 99% of the people that I talk to would never use an esthetician business coach, right? Because they're not estheticians. But it doesn't matter. I still tell everybody what I do. Maybe one of those people is going to turn into a referral. And even better than that is I get really good at talking about what I do. I get really good at talking about what I do, so that when I do talk to someone who maybe could be a potential client of mine, I like can talk about it with like my eyes closed. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean? Like it's not a thing. So I really want you, if you're struggling growing your business and you are trying to have the beautiful image, and that's what you've been focusing on, and when you just put a pause on it, I'm not saying it's not important in the long run, of course it is. Pause on that and focus on the 3 big foundations that you need to have a profitable, growing business. A clear niche, an ideal client, person who you're going to work with, and products you're going to sell them. That is it for today. I hope this was helpful. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.
hey, if you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I cannot tell you how much that helps my podcast grow. So you can click 5 stars if you like it and you want to give me 5 stars. And please leave a review about telling me why you like it so that I can help other estheticians grow their business. Thank you so much.